First thing we want to touch on is young Noble from the Outlaws. This was shocking to me. This was really shocking to me. It wasn't expected, you know. I mean, death is never expected unless somebody is terminally ill. You know what I'm saying? But this came like a somebody sneaking you with a left blow from the back. I did not see this coming. Now, from the news reports, it stated that young Noble killed himself, committed suicide. That's the story out there right now. I really haven't seen anybody trying to dispel that. Um, Idi Amin, one of the outlaws, he confirmed his passing. So we know it ain't a fluke. And as you can see, it definitely has reached mainstream news, and it's definitely um, true. It saddens me because the brother was only 47 years old, which, y'all young niggas in y'all 20s, y'all call people in their 40s old. Y'all niggas is old. Y'all washed up. You know what I mean? At 47. So y'all young dudes that don't inspire to be 60, I guess, at some point y'all gonna go find a short pier and take a long walk. Like, I still don't get how um young people sit there and be talking about, yo, y'all old, y'all old, as if they plan on taking their life at a certain age because they don't want to be old. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm still trying to figure that part out when some people um term in mind, what up? Um Sit there and clown people for being able to see gray hair or be grandfathers or grandmothers. Like, y'all young girls and y'all young men out there that sit there and clown people for reaching a certain age is just goofy to me at this point. Like, so you don't inspire to be a grandparent. You don't inspire to have your 40th birthday party or your 50th or your 60th. Like, you really want to die in your 20s. You really want to end your life in your 30s. It makes no sense to me. But it's your life. You do what you want with it, right? But if being getting older and gaining wisdom and being able to see your kids have kids and still be able to see your face and your grandchildren doesn't inspire you to live, I'll never get it. I will never get it. I will never get it. Like, when I was younger, we looked to our elders for wisdom. We talked to the old heads to make sure that we not going to make certain wrong decisions in life. you go to school and you learn from people older than you. It just don't make sense to me. But, you know, like I said, I guess at some point y'all will find a short pier and take a long walk because you don't want to be old, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world to me at this point. But getting back to Young Noble, it is said that he committed suicide. Um, for I say like the last year, I would feel like I don't want to say he was crashing out, but when he did the song about Nas, I felt like he was going through something. And then when he denounced himself from the Outlaws, I really felt like he was going through something because I mean, I know that Pac isn't here anymore and he may have felt the way about, his brothers or whatever, all the outlaws, uh, Napoleon and Idi Amin. I don't know. But the Nas song was shocking to me because it came at a time when the Nas Tupac thing had been already settled and uh it was water under the bridge. And then when he denounced himself from the Outlaws, I felt like, he was really going through something. Um, I don't know what is the details. I do believe that um, he died from a gunshot wound, and they saying that he committed suicide. But as you know, that can be easily proven. In some cases, and I think that if it wasn't true, that the people around him, pardon me, y'all, like I said, a long day cooking. But I think that the people around him, his family members, his real family members, um, would have came out and said, something in regards to foul play or something like that. But check on your people, man. Check on your people. I know everybody be out here on Instagram and TikTok and social media fronting like they doing good and they so rich, you know, and that's everybody's go-to now, right? Oh, you broke. You broke. It be the brokest mother effers out here calling people broke. If you are talking about somebody that's rich, like I'm getting ready to talk about uh Sean Carter and Ramir, and the first thing people going to say about Ramir is, "Oh, he's broke," right? But we're going to get into that, right? A lot of people out here, the ones that y'all think got money, don't even got money. The people that's sitting out here calling everybody broke are the brokest ones. They are the brokest ones. Motherfucker be calling you broke living with their mother or their parents or nigga be in the shelter and be calling you broke. Nigga, they'll be on welfare and calling you broke. Section 8 and calling you broke. Right? That's just the go-to now. Whenever you talk about somebody that got money, the first line of defense is, "Oh, you broke. You broke." Right? People call me broke. I don't care. I was born broke. I came out of the womb with no pockets. I didn't have no pockets. There was no pockets in Pampers. You know what I'm saying? So calling me broke don't never bother me because I was born broke. And you were too, right? And people go through times, rough times, hard times, or whatever. But I feel like if you could pay your phone bill and you could pay your mortgage or you could pay your rent and you got your lights on, that's all that matters. And you got your car, you could pay your car, no, you pay your car insurance. The same people that's sitting there calling you broke ain't don't have a car, don't have insurance, don't have life insurance, don't have medical insurance, you know. But they are the main ones to be calling you broke, right? So never be offended by somebody calling you old or broke. Those are the two things that should just fall right off your back when you're hearing that. It should never bother you if you're in a space where you got a roof over your head and food in your refrigerator. Because it was times when I grew up, there was no food in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? So if I got food in my refrigerator and my stomach ain't touching my back, I would never care what a person's saying. Same as I don't care about a person telling me I'm old. Like that is a privilege. You know what I'm saying? So once again, I hate that, this brother died at a young age. It ain't no telling what, you know, if he took his life, what caused it. But I can tell you, financial stuff can make people take their lives. There was a girl named Jazz Fly, damn, I can't remember how many years ago it was. But she was on the show, one of Mona Scott's reality show called the Gossip Game. And I remember her interviewing Kia Jeffries, who's also go by the name Baby Doll, but she's the girl that sing on Akinelli's "Put It in Your Mouth" song. And she was in the group Forecast. Um, I remember her interviewing her at the time when Kia Jeffries was going through, um, something mental, you know, some mental anguish due to the fact that, her son's father had passed away or whatever. And they had did this whole interview or whatever. And Kia went through a lot. You know what I'm saying? That you would think, God forbid, if she would have took her life or whatever, people would have said it was for various reasons, whatever. But she's stronger than the average bear, and you know, she went through a lot, but she's still moving around, doing stuff, and people don't know what she go through on just a normal basis, on a regular day, with all the stuff that she went through, right? And I'm seeing, Jazz Fly interview her and about the hardship and stuff that she was dealing with, and then turned around. I don't even know if it was months later. It wasn't even a whole year later. Jazz Fly committed suicide. which was very shocking to a lot of people. And I knew that she was in LA and she was going through a lot of stuff and she was going through some financial stuff, and I'm not saying I don't think that, Jazz Fly, I don't know the reason why she killed herself, but she killed herself. But I knew that she was going through financial troubles at the time, right? So you'll have people look at a certain person and judge them um, based on the stuff that they're going through. And to see like Jazz Fly interview Kia Jeffries and then turn around and take her own life, you would think that you would look at Jazz Fly and be like, oh, she's on this reality show, she's interviewing people, and would think that she got, you know, money because she's on this reality show and she's on TV and stuff. And you would think that, Kia going through all the stuff that she's going through, and she still runs around and she thrives and she's strong minded. And you would look at the two of them sitting there together and hearing her story, and then you turn around and you look in Jazz Fly, she takes her life. Rest in peace, Jazz Fly. You know, but you never know what somebody is going through, and you never know what people say to people, how they can affect you can be affecting someone's how you could be affecting someone's ego. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't know why young Noble took his life, but you don't know what he was going through. You know what I'm saying? And this industry is the worst type of industry out here when it comes to getting support or people blocking you and making it harder for you to make a dollar, you know. And for me, I've dealt with that a lot. Why? Because I speak out, I speak out openly about the truth and tell you about the dark side of the industry. And oh, and the truth has no place in this entertainment industry. So this is why you have a lot of people. That was my charger. Mhm. Use this to charge. It's like my guy George. My guy George, he told me, "Yo, choke, man. You easily could have been a millionaire, man, if you wouldn't be out here telling the truth." I'm like, uh, you may be right. That may be true. But what does that do for the people that come behind me in the industry? So I was supposed to not educate them on where what path they going down in this entertainment business. Like, I don't know. For me, growing up, I grew up in poverty, right? And when you grow up in poverty and you still as a kid, as a teen or whatever, you still had some of the best times of your life, right? Like when you playing in the sprinklers and stuff, you as a kid, you don't know that there's these big water parks. You're happy with the sprinklers, right? You're not thinking about Six Flags and all this stuff as a kid because you could go right outside and play in the sprinklers, and you're not thinking, "Oh, this is broke people stuff," playing in the sprinklers, right? When you sitting there washing cars for money, you know what I'm saying, as kids, whatever, and you making money, or you packing bags in the supermarket and you making money. You're not thinking about uh oh, I could be doing this, or I could be doing that, or I could be doing this. You know, you're you're very happy with playing football in the streets, right? Before you even know that you can go to a football camp and things like that, or a basketball camp. You cool with shooting the basketball in a crate that somebody nailed up on the goddamn pole, right? You're not even thinking about a basketball court with uh parquet floors or whatever them floors are called in the gymnasium or whatever. You having the best fun in the world shooting a basketball inside of a crate with no bottom, right? You're not thinking about any of that, right? So when for me, just speaking for me, I can't speak for everybody. You know what I'm saying? The living in poverty shows you that you could be happy without being rich. So when you get older and you know you are not rich, but you are able to sustain a lifestyle that makes you happy. Everybody don't have to be rich. You know what I'm saying? This is why some people can drive a car and not have to have a Benz, a Beamer, or a Maybach, or a Rolls Royce, or whatever. They cool with driving the newest Honda. You know what I'm saying? The newest Toyota, the newest Lexus, or whatever it may be. It don't have to be what the other people out here uh determine as luxury. Your luxury can be fine. You know what I'm saying? If you got a 50-inch TV in your house, that don't mean you gotta have a 65-inch. You know, that don't make you broke if you got a 40-inch. You seeing the same thing everybody else is seeing. Same thing with these dudes that feel like, oh, they flying private jets. So I could get a first class ticket and go to the same place. I could get a coach seat and go to the same place, right? So just because I don't fly a private jet, that don't mean I'm broke. Because you only thing that's going to make a difference between me and you is I'm going through TSA and you not. But you can land, and then the marshals or the TSA dudes could be there at the private jet thing, and you can go through the same thing. They'll jump right up on the private jet and start searching everything because they randomly do that. So don't ever think that these dudes that fly on private jet aren't going through some type of TSA. Because sometimes, and I done flew private jets at Rockefeller damn near 50 times. You know what I'm saying? So I already had that experience. Even if I didn't pay for it, I still had the same experience that Dame had. And he paid for it, but I flew on the same thing. I ate the same food. I've sat in the same chairs or whatever. So it don't matter, right? But people be like, "Oh, you broke." We flying private. So I did that probably more times than a lot of artists, a lot of celebrities. I've probably been on more private jets than a lot of celebrities out here that got way more money than me. So you're someone else determination of broke may should not affect you if you living good. If you got jeans on, you know, if your jeans cost $50, you got on jeans. If you paying $10,000 for some jeans, you still got on jeans, right? Like unless you wearing the price tag on it, who the hell is going to know, right? Except for a person that's into materialism. They might could look at the jeans and be like, oh, that nigga got on the $10,000 jeans. But to the regular person the average person that you walk by, they not gonna know that those jeans cost $10,000. So, with that being said, do not let people put you in a depression to the point. I don't know what Young Noble committed suicide for. I'm just saying it could be he might have been struggling. You know what I'm saying? You never know what it is. But don't ever let someone make you feel inferior because they got more money than you, right? Or don't let a person in the comments on social media uh tell you, oh, you broke or this, that, and other, and make you feel a way inside that you want to take your life. And like I said, I don't know why this brother took his life. I'm just saying, don't let people that don't know you. I don't even care if they know you. It could be your damn baby mother. You broke ass nigga, you can't pay child support, this, that. If you're struggling, that's fine. But do something to change your situation, right? But don't let nobody ever, ever, ever put you in a state of mind that where you feel like you got to take your life because you're not living up to their standard, especially if you got kids. You know what I'm saying? Or you got a mother. You know, I was talking to a guy that um, did like 20 something years in jail, and they still got the street mentality that you know they will still take a person's life if they get violated. And I'm sitting there talking to a person that's probably 10 years my senior, right? They done did 20 something years in jail and they still telling me how they will die for they niggas in the street. And I'm like, bro, family first, right? Now, this person is fortunate enough to still have their mother in their 60s, right? They in their 60s, I believe, right? And they telling me how they will still go out here if a person violate them and take someone's life for they niggas in the street. And, and I'm like, yo, bro, you sound crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out here doing nothing to nobody for niggas in the street. And how we came up on this topic was because the person was telling me that they got daughters, right? And the person's telling me that they don't want to meet none of their daughters' boyfriends unless they marry them, right? And I'm telling them that is pure ignorance. Why wouldn't you meet your daughter's boyfriend unless they marry them? You don't want to, they don't want to meet none of their kids' uh boyfriends until they marry them. And I'm like, to me, that's just to me, that is the most ignorant thing one can say because one, you're not letting the the man that's in your daughter's life know that she has somebody there that's going to protect her, right? Second, you're not vetting the guy. Being you're not being a part of your daughter's relationship to observe the type of men that she's dealing with, right? So by you not telling by him telling his daughter that he don't want to meet any of her boyfriends until they marry them because I don't want to meet no nigga that's just effing my daughter is what he said, right? I'm only going to meet them if they I'm only going to meet them if they marry them. So my thing to them is, well, wouldn't you want to meet these guys first to make sure she don't marry the wrong dude? When with your life experience being in your 60s, right? Wouldn't you think it would be smart for you to meet all the men that she's dating so she don't pick the wrong one? You don't want her to pick a street nigga like you, right? She might think that a street dude is the best option because her dad was a street dude, and might think that a working class dude is a square and don't want to deal with a guy that if she marries him, her kids will have medical benefit, health insurance, and things of this nature. And nothing I said will get will get through to this guy, right? And I'm telling him, yo, bro, I think you need to go see a therapist. You need help for thinking that, right? And they saying, yo, choke, what you saying is true. I'm not going against what you're saying, but I don't want to meet none of my boyfriends. I mean, none of my daughter's boyfriends because if they violate her, I'm gonna kill them. I'm like, bro, you know how crazy you sound to me? You will go and kill your daughter's boyfriend if he violates her. And I'm like, and then he used another example. It was one of the homies that was on the phone with us on the three-way. And um He was like, for example, you know, if so and so who's on the phone right now, if he called me and say, "Yo, man, yo, some dude just violated me, this, that, and other," choke, I'm picking up my gun and I'm going out there and I'm gonna go and kill somebody for him because that's my dedication to him. And I'm like, why is that your first option to go and want to kill somebody, right? And I'm like, with your mother being elderly, right? And you got a wife and you got kids, you will still go out here in 2025 after doing over 20 something years in jail. You will still go out here and kill somebody for niggas in the street. You don't want to be around to bury your mother. You don't want to be here for your like. So you telling me dudes in the street supersede your mother, supersede your wife, supersede your kids, right? That don't make sense to me. I'm like, why would you do that? You know how many dudes I know in jail who parents died while they were in jail, and some of them couldn't even go to the funeral. Can you imagine being in jail and your mother or your father died, and the jail won't even allow you to go see them, and you got an asshole full of time, and you got to come home to go to a cemetery and see their name on the floor or on the tombstone, right? Do that make sense to anybody? Right? Like I learned probably I probably learned probably about in my 30s that don't put the streets before your family because the same people that you will put before your family are the same people that will turn around and kill you. Your homies will turn on you way before your family will, especially when it comes to taking your life or robbing you, you know what I'm saying, or stealing from you. It'll be those same homies in the streets, right? Now, I know some people in the streets become family more than family, right? That's just how some situations are. You know what I mean? Some situations, some of your homies in your streets do become family, right? But at 60 something years old, and I can't fault him because almost 3 decades of his life he spent in jail. So he may not have the knowledge and the wisdom that I have being on the streets for all those years because he was in jail for all those years. But let me tell you something, man. If what I'm describing to you is you, start thinking different. Don't put the streets before your mother. Don't put the streets before your father. You know, don't put the streets before your family. Definitely your kids. You know what I'm saying? That is very um not proactive in my opinion. But to each his own, to each his own, right? So I don't know. It's Sunday. I mean, it's Saturday. It feel like a Sunday after the 4th of July. But I'm preaching, and I'm not gonna sit here and preach to the choir, right? But please, man, when I tell you I talked to this guy for 3 hours to try to change his mindset. And at the end of it, I just said, brother, I think you need help. You need to go sit down and speak with a therapist. Because when I use his mother as an example, like you will go out here at your age and kill a dude for violating your daughter that you never even met this guy, but she could call you and say, "Yo, he violated," or you hear that he violated your daughter, and you will go and take a person's life without even getting to know him. It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me, man. But I'm gonna move on past that. You know what I'm saying? But if you are that guy, you know, and then one more thing to that. When I said, so you would just sit there and go and do that? And they told me, man, I will go and tell my mother that my mom, I gotta go out here and do this, this, that, and other. And my mother understand, and my wife would understand. And I'm like, you really think that they would understand that? And you would not put them first? That's just me, choke. That's just me. That's how I would handle it. That's what I would do. You know, I got I was like, bro, all right. Because after 3 hours, nothing I was saying was uh hitting home. But some people live and die by the street. You know what I'm saying? Me, I got to a certain point in my life where no disrespect to my dudes in the streets, but I told them I can't hang out with you no more. Anybody that know me, right? That grew up with me, when I got into the entertainment business, I left all them niggas behind. It ain't no calling you. It ain't no hanging out with you. It ain't no pulling up, sitting on the benches with you niggas, drinking a beer. None of that. I'm not. I'm not even putting myself in that environment for one of your rivals to come spinning the block, doing the drive by. I'm not putting myself in a position for the police to raid the block, and I'm sitting there and not knowing I'm sitting next to a garbage can with something in it, or a pack that's hidden somewhere, or somebody got something on them that might throw it, whether it be a gun or a bag of drugs. I'm not sitting around hanging out with y'all. There's nothing for us to relate to no more other than our past. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't separate yourself from your dudes in the streets and you legit, you'll find yourself in trouble and you're not even doing nothing. So please, people, you know what I'm saying? You got to elevate. You know what I'm saying? It don't make you a bad friend. It don't make you a sucker. It don't make you a square. But I guarantee you that all the dudes that I grew up with, if they still was in the street, they will tell you, Choke ain't coming around. That nigga Choke, what? That nigga Choke, what? They could call me whatever, but you're not gonna call me stupid. You're not gonna call me stupid. It's not. I could call them and wish them happy birthday. I could call them and wish them Merry Christmas. I could call them wish them Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? Any of that. But to hang around with the people that and they doing the stuff that you no longer do. I don't think that's I don't think that's a good thing to be doing. It's not productive. You know what I'm saying? And it could end you up in some serious trouble, right? So I just say all that to drop a jewel for the ones that's, you know, probably still got homies in the street like my man do and still want to go hang out at the spots they have. And then I'm telling them that, like, yo, why are you still going to hang out on blocks and in lounges and clubs with these guys that's still in the street or dealing with ignorant activity? Because that's where they comfortable at. That's the answer. I'm not comfortable about around a bunch of white people. I'm comfortable in the hood because that's where I grew up at. All right, my nigga. I ain't got no more. I ain't got no more to say. I ain't got no more to say when it comes to that. But like I said, to each his own, right? So rest in peace to young noble. I don't know why this brother took his life, but I'm sure he'll be missed by many. You know what I mean? He'll be missed by many. But I'm gonna move on to the next situation. And shout out to my peoples, South Boston, Virginia. Man, Andre sent me this shirt. I'm gonna rock this on my next live or whatever. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta sell drugs. You can become an artist and put your art on t-shirts and get support that way. You don't have to do nothing negative. There's so much many ways out here for people to make money and not what you call it.